Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pooja. I'm an integrative nutritionist and I work with women who have hormonal issues. And today we're going to be talking about how to work on our emotional or psychological well-being to cure any hormonal issue like PCOD. So let's begin. This is one of the most important aspects of healing when it comes to healing your hormonal issues like PCOD is concerned, which sometimes just goes unnoticed. Sometimes we ignore it. We are too focused on figuring out how to correct our physical well-being. So what should we eat, what kind of herbs, what kind of supplements we should take, and maybe the sleep is an issue. But sometimes it's mainly something to do with something emotional that's bothering you. Some emotions which are stuck somewhere in your body in terms of stress, which are causing the disease for you. It can be a childhood trauma, it can be a traumatic event that you went through. It could just be that you're just an introvert and usually are shy in expressing your feelings, the true feelings that you have inside. And that all can bottle up. And from the previous episode that we did on stress and how it affects PCOD, we did establish how something which has been bothering you here can manifest in the form of disease. So just working on your physical well-being and ignoring your emotional well-being will not give you a full picture of what is causing the problem. You need to be feeling full emotionally. You need to be feeling complete from within. You have to feel that you are a unique person who has come into this world to offer something extraordinary to the world. You should feel joyful just for your existence. And if those feelings are not coming out, and that's not the constant way you are feeling, then that can quickly manifest in the form of a disease. We often see the kind of self-talk that we do to ourselves. We are so judgmental about ourselves. We're constantly criticizing ourselves all the time. And we are not happy with the way we are, the way we are not thin enough, or we're not good looking enough, or our hair is not good enough. And this constant talk that we are doing to ourselves, your cells, which are actually quite emotionally intelligent, can actually pick up these signals, and quickly it can affect your female hormones, which are very sensitive. They're very motherly, they're very caring, they're very intuitive, they need a lot of love. And when this love does not come from within, from yourself, then it can really shut down and stop operating in the way that it should, because it wants to create life at the end of the day. Why do we get a period every month? Our body is preparing for pregnancy every month, and when the fertilization does not happen, you get a pre-period. But that's pretty much the basic fundamental behind you getting your periods and you getting these hormones released in a certain proportion every month. The idea is to reproduce and to be able to bring a new living being in on this planet. And when emotionally you don't feel right, and emotionally you feel that stress or something bottling up inside, then the female hormones can quickly shut down, because it feels maybe it's not the time to reproduce. It's not the environment that I want to give to this child. So these subtle messages that we give to ourselves constantly really can impact your female hormones or your feminine energy in a big way. When I look at my personal journey of infertility, when I struggled with it for 6 to 7 years, when I now look back, I feel that yes, I did a lot of things. That I corrected my lifestyle, I started taking the right supplements, I started exercising, I changed my nutrition, but also at some level, at deep down level, I think I corrected myself emotionally as well. There were a lot of things that I changed within me, and I feel that the whole journey of infertility was almost like a spiritual awakening for me, where I was awakening to myself and my patterns, where I was trying to understand where I'm going wrong. What is this thinking pattern going on? Why is it that I'm thinking so negatively about myself? Why is it that I'm blaming myself all the time? And when those questions came up on the surface and I started addressing them one by one, is when suddenly I could feel that the healing began from somewhere within. I started feeling vital, I started feeling worthy enough, I started feeling important enough as an individual to be here. And that kind of made that shift that I was looking for in terms of my general well-being. And I feel that this applies mainly to all the hormonal issues that women have. Most of us are suffering from these questions. Everybody has one piece missing in their puzzle, and we are trying to look for that, and sometimes forget that we have so much that we should be grateful for. So taking life in perspective and addressing those issues, bringing them up to the surface and trying to understand why is it that I'm thinking like this, and maybe there is another way to look at this from some other perspective, can really help correct that emotional set point for yourself, and can bring a lot of vitality to you. So how do we do this? How do we improve our emotional well-being? So I've listed down few things that I thought that might really work, because it is just being conscious that there is something that you have to work on in terms of your emotional well-being to actually then be able to help with your hormonal issues. So the first one obviously is the self-talk, which I just mentioned, that the way we are talking to ourselves, that needs to change. If you are constantly putting yourself down and self-blaming yourself, then that pattern needs to change. Because I always say that, would you talk to a child like this if you had a child? And would you talk to that child like, oh, you're not good enough, you're not thin enough, oh, you're so dark, or your hair is falling, what's happening with you? The things like this, would you say that to a child? And if you were saying such things to your child, you can very well imagine what kind of trauma that child will go through. So when we cannot talk to a child like this, then how do we talk to ourselves like this? So this is something that you can really consciously check. There's a concept of metacognition, in which basically it says that human beings have this amazing capability of thinking how they are thinking. Most of the other living beings don't have that capacity. They just think or they just go through emotion, but they are not able to look at their pattern and assess it. But we have that amazing ability to be able to look at what we are thinking and challenge that and say, why are you thinking like that? So something like this, metacognition, or watching your self-talk that you're doing to yourself and correcting that immediately as soon as it becomes negative, is a very good way of assessing how much negative self-talk you're doing to yourself. And once you start giving the right message to your body that you're good enough and you are capable enough to heal, I love you for who you are, and I love you the way you are. It's not that, oh, once the hair stops to fall, then I'll start loving you. No, I will love you the way you are. And that kind of self-talk really gets picked up by your body chemistry, and body starts responding very quickly. So that is something which is the first and foremost thing that I would tell you to do this. And because consciously you've been doing something which is negative all the time, which everybody does, now you are hardwired to think in such a way. You're hardwired to think in a negative way. So now you're trying to rewire your brain and start thinking in different pattern. So they say that if you really want to change the wiring of your brain, the way it is functioning, the way it's thinking, then you'll have to do an exercise at least for 21 to 28 days for it to become an emotional pattern for you. So if you're doing self-talk or you're doing self-affirmations, you can write it down on a piece of paper every single day. Maybe write 10 things that you like about yourself every single day for at least a month, and so that it gets embedded in your brain and your brain starts thinking in that pattern. The second thing that I really like as a technique is something called morning pages. This was introduced by a writer called Julia Cameron in her book The Artist's Way, in which she says that for your mental clarity and for removing those emotional blocks that you are having, what you can do is write 3 pages every single day, just when you get up. As soon as you get up, you don't do anything else, you don't check your phone, you don't get distracted by something else, you just sit in a corner, pick up maybe a cup of coffee and start writing whatever is coming to your head. This helps in releasing those emotional blocks. If something is bottling up in your body, it helps for it to get the release that it is looking for. So if you're an introvert and you're not very good in sharing your feelings with your friends and family, then morning pages can really work very well for you. 3 pages basically where you can write anything that comes to your head. You should not be judging yourself for writing that. Whatever comes to your head, you're just writing it out or pouring it out on a piece of paper, maybe 2 pages, 3 pages every single day, and you will see how much amount of clarity you will get after doing this exercise. You also can, what you can do is, if you're afraid that maybe somebody might read it and might start judging you for what you're writing, then you can easily shred these 3 pieces of paper once you've written that and you're done with that exercise. Sometimes just writing it down on a piece of paper will make you think, why am I thinking like this? It just doesn't really make sense what I'm writing, and that can correct your negative thought pattern there and then for you. You can make this as a ritual every single day. It takes 20 to 25 minutes every single day in the morning, but it actually can really give you that release that you're looking for that stress or the emotional blocks that you're having inside which are not able to get released. You'll get that release from it. Morning pages can be something which can be life-changing for you. If you do this continuously for a month or 2 months, you will see that you will very quickly become a very different person, because it gives you that release that you're looking for in terms of all the emotional garbage that is collecting in your head. The third thing which ranks very high on my list is to practice gratitude. Because I feel that gratitude and anger or frustration or resentment or negative feelings cannot stay in the same body together. So if you have gratitude, then you can't be angry at the same time. If you are thankful, you can't be having resentment at the same time. So these are two conflicting emotions. So once you start having the feeling of gratitude within you, which you can truly feel, feeling of resentment, fear, anger, anxiety can just go away, because you will feel so much thankful to who you are and what you've been given. So there's a very good book called Magic, which is like a journal that you are asked to do like 21 different exercises on 21 different days. It's like a workshop, gratitude workshop that you do, and it's a very good book to use. It'll give you one exercise every day for 21 days in continuation, and that will really help you to develop that feeling of gratitude within you. I find that book really useful. I always recommend it to a lot of my clients, and they come back and say it really worked wonders for them. Because gratitude is not something that you can only feel at an intellectual level. Oh yeah, I am grateful. Yes, I'm grateful to this. I'm grateful to that. No, gratitude actually works in healing you when you when the feeling of gratitude changes your body chemistry from within. When it stirs your heart from within. Unless that biology inside changes, then you are doing a gratitude practice only at an intellectual level. So this book really helps in doing that, because it drills down into those emotions and makes you feel the gratitude rather than think the gratitude. The fourth thing is to inculcate creativity. Our female hormones are very creative, very intuitive, and they like creativity. And sometimes when we are stuck in this masculine world where we are asked to put our masculine energy forward, where we are doing the PowerPoint presentations and we are hitting these deadlines and we have to submit reports and things like that, it's all very masculine, and sometimes the creativity or the intuitiveness, we lose touch with it, and that's what you need to nourish and encourage within your body. And so if you were as a child doing something which was very creative, you really loved dancing, or you loved painting, or you loved sketching, then maybe picking up one of these hobbies can really help to nourish that creative energy within you, which can nourish the feminine energy and the female hormones. The next one on my list is intentions. Setting intentions for the day actually can set you off in a very good way for the whole day. So what is your intention? Now, I'm not saying intention in terms of a to-do list where you are saying I'm going to do this, or I'm going to make sure that I send this presentation across today, or do these chores that I have to finish. No, I'm not. It's not a to-do list. It's an intention which is much more emotional than physical, where you think, okay, what is it that I'm I'm going to do today? Am I going to maybe send a thank you note to someone whom I haven't said thank you for ages? Will I do something today which will make somebody smile? Can I not self-blame myself and correct my emotions every single time I think about something which is blaming myself? What is it that I'm going to do today for curing my PCOD? Am I going to incorporate that workout that I've been trying to postpone for so long? Am I going to have that herb that I think that has worked for me in the past, and I really want to incorporate that again? So really the intentions where you're working on your healing, emotional healing, physical healing, energy wise, what is it that makes you happy, joyful? What are the things that you can include in your daily regime which can keep you in that state of mind which is happy and joyful? So creating intentions first thing in the morning really makes you more conscious of how you are going by the day. What is it that you're doing during the day? How are you talking to people? How are you talking to yourself? It really makes a huge difference. So to put these things together, I mean, the one thing that I find which is very useful is you can incorporate morning pages and exercise for gratitude and setting your intentions in one go. How you do this is that when you are doing your morning pages, instead of writing 3 pages, write 2 pages or whatever comes to your head. That is morning pages, done for 2 pages. After that, the last page, you write down 10 things that you're grateful for, and also write 3 affirmations as to why you feel that you are worthy enough. So maybe write 3 things which make you think that you are different and why you deserve to be healthy and why you are good enough the way you are. So 3 affirmations for yourself, and then towards the end what you can do is you can write maybe 3 or 4 intentions for the day. So this will basically incorporate the 3 things for you. The gratitude, the intentions, and the morning pages will be done in one go. Other than that, self-talk is something that you can watch out during the day, and for creativity you can just pick up a hobby which you can do once a week or twice a week depending on your time and availability. So this is what I had to share today in terms of how you can work on your emotional well-being. If you have some techniques that have worked for you, please by all means share this on the comment section. I'd love to know what are the other techniques that one can use. If you have any questions regarding this video, then please by all means ask me. I'll be happy to help. If you feel that any of your friends might benefit from this information, please by all means share this video with them. Subscribe to my channel, press that bell icon so that you know when my next video is up. And the next video is going to be our last video in the series, where I'm going to be summing up everything that we have discussed so far. And so I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you.